So it looks like Shirley Strawberry might want to write a strawberry letter on her own because her husband was out here embarrassing her under her very nose. Not only did he get busted for scamming people, but he also got exposed for having a whole side chick on Shirley. It gets even messier because it looks like he has been lying to Shirley and scamming her as well. And let me tell you, she is devastated. So does this mean that we're about to get some divorce news? Okay, so Shirley Strawberry has not been having a great time in the past couple of weeks because her husband has turned her entire life upside down. Shirley and her husband, Ernest Williams, have been married for a couple of years now, and for a while, we thought that things were going great in the marriage. But we recently found out that not only have things not been going on fine between them, but they have been downright toxic. And people have started to wonder if Shirley knew what she was getting herself into when she decided to marry him. And to be honest, I think their relationship was kind of weird from the very start because it didn't seem like she knew Ernest very well. When he proposed to her on air at her radio show with Steve Harvey, she couldn't even recognize his voice.
Let me ask you a question. The woman that you about to ask me this question about, do you love her?
Yes, sir.
Shirley.
Yes.
This your man right here. What?
It's a mess, though.
Wait a minute. And there were conversations about how she was rushing into marriage just for the sake of getting married. And it turns out that there was a lot that she should have known about Ernest because he had led a very colorful life before he got married to Shirley. Like, he was really out there wilding and having a lot of encounters with the authorities. He has a very long list of charges that date back to the 80s, which means that he has been playing around with the law for decades. Like that's not bad enough, he also has a couple of felonies from the early 2000s, which tells us that he never really gave up his life of crime. It's unclear exactly how he met Steve Harvey, but they developed a friendship and Steve decided to play matchmaker between him and Shirley. Now, even if Shirley didn't know what type of person Ernest really was, she at least knew about his past arrests and criminal charges. But she had faith in him and she genuinely believed that he was going to turn over and become a changed man. And for a long time, it did seem like Ernest was a changed man. He had no issues with the law and even opened up a huge barbershop in Atlanta. It wasn't your typical neighborhood barbershop because it only catered to the wealthy and big name celebs in Atlanta. He also set up a company that provided unarmed security personnel for clients. So yeah, he appeared to have cleaned up his act and became a model member of society. He was pulling in a lot of money, but nobody suspected anything because his businesses were successful and there was nothing to suspect. And Shirley and Ernest were really living the life. But all that changed last year when Ernest was arrested on fraud charges and was exposed for running a $1 million scam scheme along with a woman named Erica King. According to news sources, 57-year-old Ernest Williams and 46-year-old Erica King convinced people to pay them for their business expertise. They would align themselves with their victims with promises to be able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings. The crazy part about him getting exposed is that he would have gotten away with it if he hadn't gotten so careless, because the only reason he got caught for his scam was that he was getting investigated for rental fraud, which caused the police to start looking into him. He and Erica rented a house right next door to the house he lived with Shirley, but for some reason they stopped paying the rent for 4 months. As expected, the landlord got upset and reported them to the authorities for rental fraud. And if you're wondering why on earth Ernest would need to rent a house next door to where he and Shirley lived, well, it's because he was sneaking around with Erica. There are reports that Erica is his side piece and he was hiding her in plain sight. Yeah, it's the audacity of this man to be both a scammer and a cheat. Pick a struggle. Anywho, once the police started investigating Ernest and Erica for rental fraud, they took a look into their finances and realized that a lot of things didn't add up. They did some more digging, and that's when they discovered that they had scammed more than 12 people of about $1 million.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme.
Now, it's unclear whether or not Shirley knew about his activities, but she did something that people find to be quite fishy. A couple of weeks before Ernest got busted, she randomly decided to take his name off the deed to the house that she owned in California. So if Ernest ever got arrested and had his assets seized, her house would be safe. Now, it's unclear if she did this because she knew he was about to get busted or if she just didn't trust Ernest, but the move turned out to be a smart one. Ernest got booked on 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. He had 2 of the charges dismissed and his bond was set for $15,000. But that's not all, because he was also booked on 3 additional charges of theft by taking operation of credit repair services and theft by deception. But his scamming activities went beyond scamming people into paying for his services alone, because he would also go to businesses, make purchases, and not pay. Now, I really want to shout my sis out, The Chronicle Speaks, because she really be getting to the bottom of this very stuff. Now, according to court documents, he was charged deception and with intent to avoid payment, knowingly obtained car repair services of a value of more than $1,500 but less than $5,000, which were available only for compensation for which the accused failed to pay. Yeah, this man was out here scamming without a conscience. But it gets even worse because once the police started looking into him, they found a lot of bad things that he was involved in. And his long list of crimes includes being in possession of explicit material featuring children, if you know what I mean. It's just a lot to unpack and deal with, and according to sources, Shirley is just as shocked about this as we all are. Insiders claim that she had no idea about her husband's illegal activities and was blindsided when he got exposed. A source close to her claimed that Ernest led her to believe that he had left his life of crime behind him and that his businesses were 100% legal. The source also revealed that Ernest introduced Erica to Shirley as a friend and potential business partner, and she believed him, even though she wasn't exactly sure what type of business they were planning to get into. This is also embarrassing for Shirley, and people left comments saying, "This Shirley Strawberry news, you can always count on a doggone po butt, busted and disgusted man to embarrass you. That's it. If I ever get married, it certainly won't be without doing a background check first." Shirley Strawberry should have been taking a lot of advice she was giving out. And this Shirley Strawberry and Ernest Williams stuff is so messy. She became her own strawberry letter. But do you guys believe that Shirley really didn't know about Ernest scamming? Or do you think that she is trying to save face and avoid getting in trouble? Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you think this drama is nasty, well, just wait till you see the next video.